Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football Podcast. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and today it's Week 13, time to start and sit guys. Who's in, who's out? Well, two guys that are definitely starting in my lineup. Andrew Erickson, the prop prophet, Mr. Underson himself, and, of course, D-Bro, Derek Brown, the king of bros, the Fantasy Bro. We're here to help you fix all your lineups, get everybody in who needs to be helping, everybody out who's no help. Get out of the kitchen. You're no help. Go sit down. So here you go, boys. And of course, if you need extra help, always go to my playbook. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Download the app, sync your leagues, use the important tools of Fantasy Pros to help you set all your lineups. And you're from multiple leagues. You can set all your lineups from one spot with my playbook. Did you know that? Because you can. So go take care of that right away. All right, boys, let's jump in to the must starts at running back. Andrew Erickson, kick us off. Who do you want to get in that lineup this week in week 13?
Zack Moss. I think that he's a top 5 running back this week, and you should play him pretty much over everybody. So the questions are, Zack Moss seems like an obvious start. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's going to miss, but to the extent of who you're starting him over, I think is honestly most players on your team. So you may be stacked up at other running backs, but I just want to be clear, you have to start Zack Moss, no matter what. Even if you're benching a stud, you're starting Zack Moss over him because he's going to be the bell cow. Again, reminder, last time he faced the Titans, 165 rushing yards, 23 carries, 2 touchdowns, RB2 overall. So I get that Tennessee has this they're good against the run, where it's they're better against the run, but they're still not great against it. They're worse against the pass, but I don't think it really matters. The Colts are going to feed Zack Moss with JT out, so you have to start him. So you're probably starting him anyway, but I just want to be clear that, yes, even against some of these other players, you're starting Zack Moss.
Understand. Okay. Where do you have him ranked this week? I got to know that.
RB5.
Oh, baby, we're hand-holding. You love to see it.
Woo! Yikes. I hate when you guys hold hands. It's the worst. All right, let's go to the next one here. D-Bro, who is starting in your fantasy lineup in Week 13 at running back?
You don't like holding hands, huh, Joey?
I do.
You don't like holding hands?
After you buy me dinner first,
we're holding hands on this player lately. As much pushback as I got. You didn't want to take my hand. You didn't want to stroll down the sidewalk with me, but here we are. It's a good day at the park. We're gonna stroll. We're gonna enjoy the sunlight together, Joey. Jaylen Warren, baby, let's go. Jaylen Warren just continues to do the damn thing every single week, just blowing up, man. Over his last few weeks, over last 4 games specifically, almost 15 touches per game, 107 total yards. He's been an RB2 or better in almost every single game this year. And if you don't believe me, people, go look at the game logs. It's real. It's true. Jaylen Warren is amazing. He's top 3 in basically every tackle-breaking metric that I can find. He's this year's Tony Pollard. Try to tell people, but they didn't want to listen.
Well, look, after what Kyren Williams did last week, I think everyone's very excited about this matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. All right, Erickson, who are you excited about as well in Week 13 at running back?
Well, same matchup. I still think you can start Najee Harris. Look, You need to start your guys against the Cardinals defense. Mm-hmm. The defense is trash. And yes, Jaylen Warren has been more efficient than Najee Harris, but look, Najee's still been okay. He's been solid, especially recently. 69 plus rushing yards, 3 of his last 4 games, seeing 15 or more touches in 3 of the last 4 games. He's been fantasy RB1 in 3 of the last 4 games. So yes, Jaylen Warren, we're super excited about. I like Jaylen Warren over Najee Harris, but that's not to say that Najee Harris can also be productive in this matchup. He still got a lot of run last week, even after they fired Matt Canada. They said they were going to get Jaylen Warren more involved. They really didn't. The snap share was pretty much the same in what it's been. And Najee delivered. Najee was better than Jaylen Warren was last week. So again, I have Jaylen Warren ranked over Najee. I still think you should start him over Najee. But if you have Najee, you're still starting him because it's a great matchup for him and he has been productive. So start your Steelers.
Both of them are top 20 running backs this week. I'm going to throw that out there.
Well, it looks like ECR agrees with you, too, from the look of it, because if you look right now, Jaylen Warren is at 15, and Najee Harris is at 20. He just made it. He just scooted right in there.
He's got in there.
Let's go back to you, D-Bro. Give me another RB you want to start in Week 13.
This is the part of the year where all these guys that we've seen get little auditions as starters keep those jobs, even if healthy players or players come back from injury. And that's Devin Singletary, dude. He's been crushing it. He played over 80% of the snaps last week. And I understand he didn't put up the rushing yards, but he got a ton of work in the passing game. So we know that utility is there. And now he gets the Broncos this week, man. You telling me we're going to have a running back that's going to get 80% of the snaps going against the Denver Broncos. My bigger question is not whether I want to start Devin Singletary or not. It's a question of how high do I rank Devin Singletary this week? Like right now, I've got him at RB14, and I feel like I might need to go a little bit higher.
All right. It's funny. Devin Singletary every November shows up and all of a sudden becomes fantasy relevant. Doesn't matter if he's the Bills running back. It doesn't matter if he is the Texans running back. First 2 months, not so much. Then all of a sudden, Devin Singletary off the waiver wire, doing good things again. All right, let's get to one more running back here. Erickson, give me another guy that you want to start this week.
Javonte Williams. Juggernaut Javonte. Look, guys, I found a recent trend with Javonte Williams. So dating back to last year, Javonte Williams has 742 rushing yards and 0 rushing touchdowns. 0. Regression is due for Javonte Williams. He has scored a couple receiving touchdowns, but not on the ground. What defense has allowed the highest percentage of rushing touchdowns this year? The Houston Texans. So he's going to score a rushing touchdown. He's been seeing great usage as the RB1. It's really kind of bizarre the way they use him. Like, they'll use other running backs. They use P-Ryan a little bit more in the passing game, but Javonte still sees a lot of targets on early downs because Russell Wilson has turned into the check down machine, just like peppering his running backs with targets unless he's throwing a touchdown to Courtland Sutton. So eventually, Courtland Sutton won't catch a touchdown, and they'll have to score a touchdown in another way. I think it's in this spot against the Texans, who have been they've given up more rushing touchdowns, 13, than passing touchdowns on the year at 11, which is a very bizarre number just in the NFL that it's so weighted towards the rush. So I think Javonte Williams is actually set up here to be an RB1 this week.
The Broncos have, been grinding their way back into relevancy. And if they win this game this week, they're really interesting. I talked about this, Erickson, on my top 10 bets of the week video on our Betting Pros channel, that, if they beat Houston here, for their odds to make the playoffs, it's plus 146. That's a really good number you're getting there. And you look at the rest of the schedule, they got the Chargers, the Lions, who are beatable. Let's not pretend like they're not here. They just lost to the Packers. Then they've got New England, the Chargers again in Las Vegas. So, you could be looking at double-digit victories here for the Denver Broncos, and that might sneak them in at the end of the day. All right, D-Bro, back to you. Give me another guy that you want to play this week in fantasy at RB.
He's the fantasy Voldemort. Rhamondre, he's back. He's been breaking tackles, baby. It's been beautiful. The last few weeks, he's been doing the things that I hoped that he could do for the entire season. Over the last 3 games, he's averaged 20.7 touches per game, over 100 total yards. And I'm here to tell you, look, yes, the Chargers did start out the year as a good run defense, but since week 7, they have fallen off the map, man. 12th highest explosive run rate, 10th highest yards after contact per attempt. I don't care who the quarterback is. You could put Malik Cunningham back there. Does not matter. Rhamondre is the truth. He's going to be an RB1 this week. Starting.
All right. We are deep into the NFL season. We got to make every second count. And with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can make the most out of every single game day. Bet on your favorite teams for a shot at winning big bucks. New customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets by betting just $5 on any matchup. And we already told you we're here to help you over at Betting Pros. We got the prop show, we got the live shows, we got my videos, Erickson's videos. So go subscribe there. Help yourself make good wagers and get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook after you watch all that content. And the official sports betting partner of the NFL, I might add. Download the app now and use that code FANTASYPROS. New customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on the NFL. That's it. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code FANTASYPROS. The crown is yours. All right, let's crown some RBs. We want to start here. Gonna take a couple guys here using our Who Should I Start tool, which is free at fantasypros.com/start. It is a fantastic tool. You should be using it every single week. So, gentlemen, here we go. Let's kick things off here with this one. Let's start Jaylen Warren or DeAndre Swift. I know you love Warren. I'm going to test your love, D-Bro.
I love Warren, but I'm going with Swift. I don't think people understand how bad the 49ers run defense has been. So it's close, but I'm not crazy. I'm still going with Swift.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to see. You sitting Warren made me a little warm and fuzzy. I'm playing Warren everywhere, but I get it. Good. I understand. In DFS, I don't have a lot of Jaylen.
I was just going to say, that would assume that you drafted
I got some Najee shares,
Warren.
and the Najee shares have been fine. Let's go to, speaking of Najee shares, let's go to Erickson here. Erickson or Brian Robinson? Who would you rather start this week? They're back-to-back in ECR.
I think I'd probably rather start Najee. He's more upside.
Okay. All right, there you go. D-Bro, back to you. Devin Singletary or Javonte Williams? Two guys we talked about. You only got room for one. Who gets the start?
Going Singletary, baby. I don't disagree with anything that Erickson said about Javonte and stuff, but you can also throw against the Houston Texans. We know that you can run on the Denver Broncos. It's tried and true, man. And Devin Singletary has 30 touch upside this week.
Erickson, I know you love Zack Moss, but you love him more than Isaiah Pacheco. Look, I know he was great against Tennessee that first time. You really believe he repeats it again, or you want to just play, the Chiefs offense here and get Pacheco in instead?
That's close. Can I come with a caveat that it depends on if Jerick McKinnon plays or not? I mean, because I think that matters. Because Pacheco have a boosted receiving role. McKinnon doesn't play.
It's a fancy word.
You have Zack Moss ranked as RB5. What's Pacheco going to be, a top 4 back?
Pacheco's RB7. So they're both really good players.
Well, then I guess your answer is Moss. That's what you're saying.
If
I'm looking at
but
your
again,
ranking.
it could change if Jerick McKinnon plays, does't play.
Okay. So if he doesn't play, you're saying Pacheco's over it.
Then who is it?
Oh my God! Fine, I'll play Zack Moss. God.
There we go. See?
No, wait. I know what the peer pressure is. I know what the real one. So if McKinnon is out, it's Pacheco. If McKinnon is in, it's Moss. Correct? Is that how you feel about it?
Let's go with that.
Okay. My goodness. Let's go. Another one here.
Let's go with that.
Rhamondre Stevenson, D-Bro, or Raheem Mostert. Who do you want to start this week?
Oh, it's Mondre.
Mondre. No hesitation there. Nope. Nothing but confidence from D-Bro. All right, let's do another Javonte Williams one. Javonte Williams or Breece Hall, Erickson?
It's funny. All it took for Rhamondre to start to play well was for D-Bro to throw the white flag up for Rhamondre.
I know, right?
Absolute tear.
Same thing with Tony Pollard. The correlation is real, baby. Like,
why couldn't you have done that at week 5? Saved everybody a lot of grief.
I mean, you're talking real truths here. I should have.
Look, sometimes you just got to stay the course with the things you believe in at the end of the day. By the way, who do you believe in, Erickson? Feet to the fire. Which guy?
Yeah, Javonte or Breece Hall.
Mm-hmm. All right, Javonte it is. All right, let's move on to the wide receivers. D-Bro, you can kick things off here for us. Who gets a start at wide receiver in week 13 for you?
I'm going deep on this one, guys. I'm going to Curtis Samuel. And we've already seen what he did last week. And I think a lot of the same parallels line up for Curtis Samuel in this matchup. The strength of the Miami secondary is their outside corners. I want no part of Jalen Ramsey or Xavier Howard, which is why I'm going to have Curtis Samuel ranked over Terry McLaurin, over Jahan Dotson this week, because he draws a fantastic matchup. Miami's slot corner allowing an 84% catch rate, 129.8 passer rating. We know the Commanders are going to throw the freaking ball. Like, lock in the Sam Howell over for passing attempts. All he's done is hit it basically like the last 6 or 7 straight freaking games. Curtis Samuel is going to get a lot of target volume, and I love him this week.
All right, Erickson, who's in at wide receiver for you in this week?
I want to start Josh Downs. 13 targets last week, 33% target share. The ball goes to 2 guys in this offense, Josh Downs and Michael Pittman. And then if they're not that, it's running ball with Zack Moss. So it's a great matchup. So he only had 5 catches last week off 13 targets somehow. Like, very, very weird stat line. But he also had 3 red zone targets. So they're looking for him in the end zone. So I like Josh Downs.
I'm excited for the Colts next year. I'm already starting to get excited about it. I know I already talked. I talked to one of you about it. I don't remember who. I think it was UD that I was talking about. I was like, I'm looking next year with Anthony Richardson being healthy and Shane Steichen and Jonathan Taylor is there now.
They could be a playoff team this year, dude.
They might be. Steichen's a really good coach. I like Steichen a lot. If you give him Richardson next year, full year healthy, things are going to really pick up for them next year. All right, let's get back to you, D-Bro. Give me another wide receiver who's got to be in your lineup this week.
Well, talked about Voldemort previously. This is Andrew's Voldemort. Courtland Sutton, baby. I'm starting Courtland Sutton. I mean, all he does is catch touchdowns, and all the Texans do is allow production to outside wide receivers. Since week 7, the Texans are allowing the most PPR points per target to outside wide receivers. So I'm not telling you to sit Javonte. Javonte probably has another good game, but you also need to be starting Courtland Sutton.
All right, Erickson, who do you need to be starting at wide receiver this week?
See, the silver lining, though, with Courtland Sutton is I have him on a bunch of dynasty teams because I got him last year and I couldn't get rid of him. So
now you're just enjoying it.
Still benefiting, not season long, but in my dynasty teams, I got Courtland Sutton on every single roster. So
better late than never, Erickson. Better late than never. Man. Look, I don't think it was you. I think it was Hackett. Let's just blame him because it's not like the Jets' offense is any good. I mean, let's be honest here. It's that guy. It's not you.
Hey, you know the great quote from the Joker. I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
That's right. That's right.
You're early. But my next start receiver is Diontae Johnson. Again, Steelers. Start your Steelers. He had 25% target share last week, 50 yards, 8 targets, 2 red zone targets. He had a touchdown. Like, he did. And Mike Tomlin just didn't challenge it for some reason, even though it would have been overturned. So there's been a lot of talk in the media where he didn't try on that fumble, and he's like kind of come forward and been like, hey, like I just didn't, I messed up. Like he made a mistake. So I think that he's going to try to have a prove it game here, and he's always been the guy that's been the target leader. You know, George Pickens, yes, we kind of like him in this matchup a little bit too, but he's way more boom or bust. The targets go to Diontae. Like, he's the number one target when Kenny Pickett's under center, when him and George Pickens are both healthy. So I think it's a positive matchup against the Cardinals, top 10 against fantasy wide receivers this season. I mean, they're bad against everybody. So I think Diontae Johnson scores in this matchup, and I think you want to start him this week.
Yeah, he definitely needs some redemption, that's for sure. All right, back to you, D-Bro. Give me another guy, wide receiver to start.
Players that I've put up the white flag on, and I'm back in on, man. At least for this week, Adam Thielen. You need to start him. You need to get him in your lineups. And a lot of this, it's just the matchup, dude. And people could say, okay, well, he didn't do anything against the Titans. The Titans are bad against perimeter wide receivers, not versus the slot. That's not the case for the Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers this season allowing the 4th most PPR points per target, the 2nd most receiving yards to opposing slot wide receivers. I'm not telling you that Bryce Young has a fantastic day, but Adam Thielen will.
Okay, Adam Thielen's in. Erickson, one more guy who's in for you at wide receiver.
DeAndre Hopkins. Look, I know that he's kind of been underwhelming in the last couple of games with Will Levis, but he's still clearly the number one receiver on the Tennessee Titans. 5 targets last week, 3 for 49 yards. But it's a great matchup against the Colts, so I think that you just got to start him.
We might get Ryan Tannehill, too. Will Levis is dealing with an ankle issue, so...
Well, I don't know if that makes it all that much better, but
can't make it worse. I mean, it can't make it worse. You've seen Will Levis targets last few weeks every single week. The Falcons.
Every single week, I say the quarterback play can't get any worse, can it? And every single week, I'm wrong. It's worse.
Joe Flacco says hi.
Oh my God! I hope we get Joe Flacco this week. I have it on my bingo card. I'm like one more spot away from the bingo.
I can't wait for all the Joe Flacco to Elijah Moore narratives that are going to crop up on social media.
No, Elijah Moore's going to get like 15 targets and catch 3 of them.
You know,
I am going to be so. Let me tell you, Monday morning, I am going to be so fiery and feisty and angry if that happens, because I had so much Elijah Moore thinking that was going to be a good thing, and it was. And if Joe Flacco is the key that unlocks that this holiday season, it's really going to piss me off.
It's going to happen.
Didn't they play on the Jets together last year? Did that happen?
Yeah.
They have chemistry.
Yeah.
Don't have chemistry. Former teammates.
So,
I mean, who's he going to lean on? Like, I got to move Elijah Moore
They were in the
up.
same locker room. I don't know if we could say chemistry. But this holiday season, if you want something nice instead of Joe Flacco, we're excited to share with you our new customer holiday offer for our premium tools. This is an amazing deal. You got to take advantage of it right now. For a limited time only, you can double the length of your new subscription to Fantasy Pros when you upgrade to any of our premium plans for free. So what that means is you get 2 months for the price of 1, you get 12 months if you pay for 6, and you get a full extra year when you upgrade to the annual plan. So whether you're looking to make that little playoff push or get premium access well into 2025, yeah, that's right, I said it, 2025, this is the offer for you. So go check it out today, fantasypros.com/promo. Take advantage of our holiday offer and double your subscription for free. fantasypros.com/promo. All right, gentlemen, it's time to play a little game here of the starts and sits at wide receiver. Who would you rather? We always like to do this one here. So we only got 1 spot for these guys, so make it count. Let's start with you, D-Bro. Curtis Samuel or Jaden Reed, who's been red hot lately as well.
Samuel, let's go, baby.
No hesitation. Wow, ferocious.
We got conviction today, baby.
I know. Josh Downs or Courtland Sutton. You only got 1 spot. Who gets it?
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs. All right, D-Bro. Courtland Sutton or Terry McLaurin? TMC.
Sutton. Easy.
Again,
Sutton.
no hesitation. Very confident today. I like that. Erickson. Diontae Johnson or Josh Downs?
I would go with Josh Downs there.
Okay.
Over Diontae?
That's what he said. Stop bullying him. Stop bullying him. Erickson, this is a safe place.
Last week.
Don't trigger Erickson, please. This is a safe space.
Too late.
Erickson, do you want me to you want your headphones on? You want your sleepy time tea?
I don't drink that stuff.
You not a tea guy? I drink tea from time to time.
Drink coffee.
I'm very zen, though. You know that. Just black coffee.
Black coffee before bedtime. I don't care. It's 11 p.m.
I got my orange zest tea, and I'm sipping it under a blanket. And Eric's got his black coffee in a generic mug. It just says mug on it. It doesn't even have a design. All right, Adam
that's
Thielen.
real.
Hey, of course it is. Adam Thielen or Hollywood Brown, D-Bro? Who would you rather start?
Thielen.
All right, last one. I'm testing you now, Erickson. DeAndre Hopkins or Garrett Wilson?
Ooh.
Hopkins.
Okay, there you go, everybody. So good stuff there. Let's move on to the quarterbacks here. Erickson, give me a quarterback that you want to start this week that you feel good if you're, in bye league situations here, bye week situations this year, or even in those 2 quarterback shallow leagues. Who gets a start for you?
This one hits close to home because I have Lamar Jackson pretty much on the majority of my teams, and he's on a bye week. So I'm there with the listeners right here. It's Kenny Pickett for me. Like, again, we've been talking about the Steelers. Start your Steelers. Love it. If the Steelers do well, Kenny Pickett is going to have to do something. So he's one of these players that he's overdue in terms of regression for touchdowns. He has 10 expected touchdowns on the year versus 6 actual passing touchdowns. Somehow he only has 6 passing touchdowns on the season. But look, he had a touchdown pass that would have been converted last week had they challenged it to Diontae Johnson. We know all about Diontae Johnson last year and how he didn't catch any touchdowns. Eventually, this is going to regress positively. He has all of his weapons. It's a great matchup. The Cardinals have allowed 18 plus fantasy points the last 4 quarterbacks they have faced when you combine the Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks together into one, super quarterback. But 244 passing yards allowed per game. I think Kenny Pickett's a good guy to bet the over on his passing yards props. The Cardinals are giving up a lot of yardage through the air along with the ground. So I just think it's going to be an efficient game from the Steelers offense overall. We saw last week them put up the yardage, was not followed by the points, but what do we know? The more yards you get, the more points you score. So I talked about my bold prediction this week is that they're going to score 24 points. I think they can score 30 points. And if they do that, Kenny Pickett's going to have to do something on offense. So
Agreed.
I'm starting Kenny Pickett this week. I think he's a top 15. I think he's going to be QB1 this week. QB1, Kenny Pickett.
I'm at QB13. I'm at QB13.
Not QB1. He a QB1.
Well,
just to be clear.
QB1 is
QB1. Okay.
But when he throws 4 touchdowns, it's going to be, wow, he's a top 5 quarterback. Who knew?
All right, that's salty. D-Bro, pour some sugar on this next one. Who gets to start at quarterback?
That's a spicy meat the ball, and I'm here for it, man. I'm so here for that. Gardner Minshew is living in the same neighborhood, same area code as Kenny Pickett. So if you're struggling at quarterback this week, you need to consider starting him. Since week 7, Tennessee has allowed the 10th highest yards per attempt and the 10th highest passer rating. We know that you could throw versus Tennessee. And I'm not saying okay, bench Zack Moss. So we talked a lot about Zack Moss. But
are you serious, Dave?
I never said that.
Clip that, social.
Need to believe. Oh, dear Lord. Here we go. God, go back to your corner, Mr. Mugg. But you need to start Gardner Minshew.
Oh, the black coffee, Andrew Erickson. He doesn't even make the coffee. Just choose the grinds.
Now I know what to get him for Christmas.
And if you're looking to get someone something for Christmas, give them the gift of going to an event. And the thing that can help you the most with that, of course, is the Game Time app. The best way to get tickets for the games every single month right now, whether it's NFL games, whether it's going to concerts, the official ticketing app of FantasyPros, Fantasy Football Podcast is Game Time. It's the only ticketing app that gives you peace of mind with your purchase, and they let you view your own spot from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive at the venue. All their prices show you the total up front, none of that hidden fee stuff. You're always getting a great deal, and it takes no time at all. You can buy tickets in just seconds with 2 taps. That's it, 2 taps. Download the Game Time app and redeem that promo code FantasyPros for $20 off your first purchase today. Terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app and enter that promo code FantasyPros, all one word, for $20 off your first offer. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. All right, let's guarantee a tight end that we want to start this week. D-Bro, who actually, you know what? Before we even get to that, I want to test your quarterbacks a little bit.
Ow.
Everyone's so confident. Let's test you guys. Gardner Minshew or Russell Wilson, D-Bro?
They're living in the same area code. I'm going to go Russ on this one.
All right. I don't know if this one's enough for you, Erickson. Kenny Pickett or Matthew Stafford? Who should I start?
Kenny Pickett.
Easy. That's easy.
All right. That was a little too easy, right, D-Bro? I feel like
that was a gimme. That was a gimme. All right. How about this one? I got one for you.
Oh, you got one? All right. Go ahead.
Jordan Love or Kenny Pickett?
I knew it. I knew that's what you're going to say.
Oh!
Kenny Pickett?
Yes.
Jared Goff or Kenny Pickett? I just want to keep going up the trough.
Yeah, let's go.
Jared Goff. All right, so you have some sort of cutoff there.
I mean,
so,
I have Kenny Pickett at QB 14. I have him behind Minshew. So I still prefer like Minshew and Wilson over him, but I like him more than Mayfield,
got him over
than
Minshew.
Love, Stafford. I don't trust Derek Carr at all. Like I'm not starting Derek Carr.
All right,
I'd rather start
let's
Kenny
run
Pickett
through
than
the
Derek Carr.
tight ends to start. Erickson, give me a tight end you want to start this week.
Evan Ingram. Mr. Steady Eddie himself. He can't catch touchdowns, but he gets like 5 catches every single week for 50 yards. I think he can find the end zone this week, though. The Bengals are atrocious against tight ends. They're allowing the second most receiving yards, second most receptions to tight ends this season. So I think Evan Ingram is going to, again, it sucks that he doesn't get any red zone usage like whatsoever, but eventually if he can rip off a bigger run on a catch, I think he can maybe score.
With all your Kenny Pickett love.
Had a touchdown last week.
Don't live in the past. Stop living in the past.
Erickson had a touchdown.
With all your Kenny Pickett love, would you start Freiermuth or Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram.
Okay.
Look,
all right.
And someone asked me about that on Discord, like, or should I drop Evan Ingram to pick up Freiermuth? And I'm like, guys, like, Freiermuth had one game where he was really productive, and that's it. Like, he had one game where Ingram has been.
Some people are prisoners of the moment.
5 catches in 8 of 11 games this season. Like,
fair enough.
Consistent.
D-Bro, give me a tight end that you want to start this week.
Well, we might not have a lot of faith in Derek Carr, but I do have faith in Juwan Johnson. They have nobody to catch passes in New Orleans. This game could just be all Juwan Johnson and all Taysom Hill, man. Like, that's what this could just boil down to. So it could just be start all your Saints tight ends. But Juwan Johnson last week, 18% target share. He got a 20% first read share. That is tight end 1 usage, and I have him ranked as such. Juwan Johnson is a top 12 tight end because that's where all the production lines up, as well as the Lions give it up to tight ends, man. 12th most fantasy points per game and yards per reception allowed to tight ends. Juwan Johnson, top 12 this week.
D-Bro, give me a defense that's worthy of streaming this week.
The Falcons and hashtag analysis, they're playing the freaking Jets. I don't know.
That's easy, yeah, and that's slam dunk, baby. Erickson, defense this week, who you got?
I think the number one streaming defense for me is the Bucks. Not a great real life defense, but they're playing the Carolina Panthers. And the thing I want to point about the Panthers, especially with Thomas Brown now taking back the play calling duties, what he did when he was a play caller weeks 8 through 10, they were passing more aggressively. On early downs, pass rate over expectation was positive, as opposed to when Frank Reich was calling the plays, it was a negative pass rate over expectation. They were actually more willing to run the football. So against Tampa Bay, who can't run the ball against anyway, I think that they're just going to be like, screw it, we're just going to keep throwing the ball. Yes, that could mean some good things for Adam Thielen, like Debra pointed out, but also it means good things for the defense because it means opportunities for sacks, opportunities for turnovers, and Young has the 6th highest sack rate when blitzed this season. We know they
Bryce Young gives you both. He gives you a ton of sacks and a ton of picks. Boy, the gift that just keeps on giving, baby. There you go. And again, speaking of gifts that keep on giving, fantasypros.com/promo. Go check it out. Take advantage of the double up offer today. Make sure you get all those lineups set with my playbook and check out the Who Should I Start tool over at fantasypros.com. It is free. It's free. Free stuff is good. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson and Derek Brown, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.